I'm John Cunningham, Deputy President, Real Estate Institute of New South Wales. The REI New South Wales Industry Summit is about gathering all the thought leaders, the leaders of the industry from New South Wales into the one place to discuss the future of the industry. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page, we're heading in the same direction, and there's a lot of challenges ahead, and unless we all actually get together and talk about it, those challenges become even far greater. So this is a great way for us to achieve those outcomes. We see the Industry Summit as being vital in shaping the future of the industry, not only from our members' perspective and the practitioners within the industry, but also for the consumer and our clients. That's the critical part. There will be 6 key areas that we'll be debating at the summit, and they go from the standard regulatory environment, the acts that we work under, and whether they're in the right place at the right time. That also leads to the education standards. We find there's some serious issues around that, and that was a big issue from last year's summit. It's still not resolved. We constantly get replacement ministers for fair trading, but again, we're in debate with those ministers at the moment. We move then on to issues like the contractor question, payroll tax. Where is that heading? What can we do about that? Can we get some clarity around that? We've also got the issue of the national presence as far as the institute is concerned. We feel there's some vast improvements that can occur there, and we're really looking forward to the summit coming through with some ideas on that front. And there's also some very important issues that have come out of the survey and also from last year's summit, and the big one was the portal debate. Where does it stand? Where does the institute stand on this? Where does the industry stand? Are we in this space to play in it, or are we in this space to influence the outcomes? And I think that'll be very, very high on the agenda for people to discuss at the summit. Another one that's come out of the survey, and another one that's really, I think, a big issue at the moment is the issues of health and safety, particularly around the tenancy areas. Are we really property managers, or are we actually tenancy managers? And I think that needs to be clarified, because there's some serious problems that are going to arise out of that, from swimming pools to blind and curtain cords. The list goes on. We need to actually have some clarity on that as well. I think a lot of people are wondering, well, what happens next? What happens once the summit's done? Where do we go from here? And I think last year's summit was a good example of how we can actually achieve those outcomes. We definitely put steps in place to investigate all the issues that were raised there, and there's been some reform along the way as well. This year we have greater expectations. We want to actually create some special interest groups who'll focus on these 6 key areas that will come out of delegates from the summit. And that way, from the Institute's point of view, we're not just relying upon our board, we're not just relying upon our chapter chairs and our divisional chair people to head that direction. We want people who have a really special interest in these areas to help guide us and make sure that we're heading in the right direction. And I think we'll get far greater outcomes that way.